I don't ever know how to start these videos, mainly because I don't like using a dramatic background because that's not realistic at all. I could totally sucker you in with a crying clip at the beginning, but so I was sitting here taking some pictures on my new phone because I had not done that, and I've had this phone for a month. And I was like, wow, it blurs out the background. Would you look at that? And I was sitting and I wanted to look at my fat rolls on my stomach because they exist, believe it or not. I took in the fact that I have not been going to the gym for 8 months straight from about March till October. I went every single day, 5 times a week for an hour and a half. And that was such a big moment for me. Like, I really loved myself. Like, I really felt good about myself all the time because I was doing good. I wasn't eating junk food. I was eating really healthy. It just became a huge part of my lifestyle. And then I moved and it became a way bigger challenge because I no longer had my trainer. It was a new gym. I didn't have those people supporting me that I used to have, and I really stopped doing what I did, and it became more of a chore than something for myself. I started going like 3 times a week, maybe if I'm lucky for an hour. I realized that I wasn't doing it for myself anymore. I was doing it because I was scared of getting fat again. When I say again, I mean heavier, just to a point that I was disgusted in myself all the time. And I've talked about my eating disorder on this channel plenty of times before. I've talked about my insecurities, I've talked about my mental health. I've been very vulnerable, but it always goes back to my weight, and it's just something that I've always struggled with. And I feel like this day and age, it's very rare if you don't struggle with it. I want to be honest with you. It's something that I struggle with every single day. Every single day that I eat, I think about the calories, and I think about, is this gonna make me fat? If I eat too much of this, am I gonna gain 5 pounds? I have these days where I absolutely just struggle so hard to love myself. And then there's other days where I'm like, wow, I don't actually look the way that I think I do. Why do I feel like it's so necessary to be skinny? To not have these rolls on my stomach, to not have so much fat on my thighs. Why do I feel like I have to look like this idea of a perfect woman? Because those women, they are absolutely gorgeous, but why do we all strive to be that way? Like, it makes no sense to me. Why is that a particular way that a woman should look to be beautiful? And I know this is said a million times, why can't we get that into our heads when it's ingrained that this is not the way that we have to be beautiful? We hear this every single day, yet we still struggle with it. I can't tell you how to love yourself. I really can't. I know that you can. And it's one of the biggest struggles, and it's what tears us down the most, is because when we are insecure with ourselves, then our self-confidence goes down, then we feel stupid, and we feel like nobody will love us, and it makes our lives so much harder than they need to be. So in my day-to-day life, I spend a lot of time at work, and I am a host. So when people walk through that door, I'm the first thing that they see. I have to be as friendly as I can be. And in reality, that's who I am. Some of my coworkers might not like how bubbly I am. It can be looked at as annoying or fake, and they just don't like me. That really damaged me because I'm there every single day, and if this is a person that I have to work with, that is so difficult on me. A lot of the time, when I do something wrong, I feel very stupid. They sometimes point out my stupidity, and it makes me feel so, so sad. I feel something that I've never felt before. I've never looked at myself as stupid, and it shows now because I question everything that I do. I feel like I have to put on this show that I know that I'm doing something wrong, even if I'm not doing something wrong. It's a huge struggle in my life now, and my self-confidence has gone down the drain so much because of it, and I've started struggling with my appearance and who I am. I don't know why we let people affect us as much as we do. I most definitely do in relationships when something doesn't go correct or right. It damages me because this one person doesn't like me the way that I thought they did, or it ended because I did something wrong or I'm unlovable. It's just, if we find our joy and our happiness in people, then we're never going to be happy, because people fail, I fail, everyone fails, and they're not always going to please us. You don't have to struggle with your identity or who you are to dislike yourself. You can know exactly who you are. You can find yourself but still struggle. I feel like I know myself pretty well. I feel like I know what I'm meant to do, at least for the moment, and I'm okay with who I am, but there's very much so times where I'm disliking myself. How I wish that I was smarter or prettier or skinnier or whatever it is, but there's always a deeper reasoning why we feel the way that we do about our bodies and our appearance. It's just kind of like the easiest thing to hide everything else behind is our outward appearance. When I was struggling with my eating disorder, for example, I started going to a therapist, and we discovered that the reasoning why I started developing an eating disorder in the first place was because I was very, very depressed over boredom and not being able to get out, and just this disgusting feeling that I always had about myself. And it had to do with my family life, people in my family. It had to do with just so many little things that had affected me through the years, things that I didn't even remember had happened. It had all built up into this one thing that led me to starve myself because I didn't know what else to do with this. I didn't know how to cope. I've used OCD as a way to cope. It could be just like the smallest things, and it's the way that I learned to cope. After years and years of struggling with this, and I still do, don't get me wrong, it's been a lot easier to learn healthier ways because I'm aware of the way that I cope with things, that I obsess over things. I've taken that and obsessed over writing or reading or healthier things that can help me cope. I in no way, shape, or form hate myself, but there has definitely been points where I have, for sure, 100%, and I've just been so disgusted in myself, and I apologize to myself that I hated you. I put it through so much. It's gone through so much. I've spent so much of my life disgusted and hating myself that, like, I'm unsure why, what it has ever done to me to be so hated all the time. And I don't give my mind enough props for sticking around. I think we need to give ourselves more props. I think that we need to, like, be proud of ourselves more than we give ourselves credit for. About a year ago, I told the internet that my biggest insecurity was my chin. I cried. I cried in front of the camera because of the self-hatred that I had for myself, and I just really disliked my chin. I thought that it made me look fat. I thought that it was unattractive, and once I put that video out on the internet, I came to the conclusion that maybe it's not as bad as I think. And I know this is gonna sound wild, but then I started thinking about it and saying, hey, I like my chin. I love my chin, even though I hated it. I spent months and months still disliking it, and I kept saying these words of affirmation over my chin. Well, would you know it? I started liking my chin. I actually started appreciating my freaking chin. I've hated myself for way, way too long. There's always going to be days that you don't like yourself. No matter if somebody put a thought in your head or you just woke up in a bad mood, there's always going to be these scenarios that make you just not like yourself at all. But no matter what, do not let that affect you long term. I wanted to make this video just to share how I feel. And this is not scripted whatsoever. I am not into scripting things just because it's really time consuming and I go all over the place anyways, so I do not let anyone's words affect you. I can't say that enough. Please don't stop being you. Don't change anything about you. Do not let anyone change anything about you because you are so incredible just the way you are. I think that's enough said. I think hopefully you understand and get what I'm saying. Okay, so that's all I have to say about this video. I love you. You are very loved. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. Oh gosh.